Hi Pisces, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Your key to the week this week is the Judgment card. This week, are you ready for a shift or a profound change in your thinking? And I feel like this week for you guys, it will be a consciousness shift. Like there's going to be something this week that comes to you as a realization. And once you've had it, it's kind of going to be really hard for you, if nigh impossible, to return to the way that you thought about a certain situation previously. So this is going to be a moment of, in some way, shape or form, this is going to be a week of an awakening. It doesn't have to be like, you know, one of the ones where your whole life falls apart. We've all been there. If you're on any sort of spiritual path, at some point shit falls apart. Right? And then you're kind of like, oh my gosh, my world, man. And then, you know, you get over it and you realize, hey, actually all of the colors are brighter and life has a much richer and a deeper texture. That being said, some shift in your consciousness, how you see something, the loftier perspective that you have on a past event. Maybe this week you're going to be able to see it with a lot more emotional distance and a lot more mental clarity, and that's going to enable you to really move forward this week. With that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards, which is over here, with all forms. Oh, okay. Okay, they're good. I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Hierophant card. So this week, for some of you, I wouldn't be surprised if you're single this week, you could be meeting a person that actually ends up being a big part of your world, potentially somebody that you go on to marry. And I don't say that lightly. For those of you that are also, yeah, for some of you, this could be a really profound spiritual or religious shift. There might be something this week that you really feel connected to, or you feel like embarking on when it comes to a spiritual path or a process. Remember, the Hierophant card is about your faith, your religion, your spirituality, but it's about the ritualistic, or the, you know, dare I use such a heavy word, but the dogmatic aspect of the religious sector. So this week, I think there's going to be a shift in your routines. How you live your life on a day-to-day level this week is going to shift as well. And this is in large part thanks to a big consciousness shift. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Hanged Man. So this is your card, which is a very spiritual card. I wouldn't be surprised if this week you find yourself having a lot of very deep, very profound, potentially very spiritual conversations that really inform how you are going to move through life from here on in. And I do not say this lightly. I wouldn't be surprised as well for some of you if you're deciding to start a podcast. Maybe you are deciding to open up a an avenue or a line towards getting yourself out there a bit more through TV, film, radio, maybe even YouTube, who knows. Now, with that said, before we go any further, if you haven't got your winter solstice seat yet, you can do that on the link in the description box below. On the 21st of December every year for the last, and this year will be 5 years, I have run a winter solstice event where we get together. We're going to look at the astrology, the numerology. We're going to be delving into the human design of 2023 and what we might need to know about the weird and wonderful year that is Neptune ruled, much like yourself. So for the year ahead, if you want to get your seat, you can do that on the link in the description box below. I have an amazing guest with me this year. If you've been to any of these before, you know Denise Matthew. I've done plenty of videos with her, and I'm promising you this one is going to be pretty good as well. With that said, they are £33.33, and you will get access to the replay if you can't make it, which you should try to, because you'll be tapping into the magic of the solstice itself. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this week, it feels to me like you're making a discovery, all right? So through your research, through your studies, through your looking at certain information or paths, etc., it's like this week you gain a deeper insight or a discovery of some sort. You might find a correlation that nobody else has spotted before. So if you're doing any form of research, this could be a great week for you. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, It's strange because there's not the cards that I would expect to see here, but the message that I'm getting from this is you're going to have tech issues this week. All right, so back up your hard drives, do all of the things that, you know, and do them in advance. So if you're watching this before next week starts, back up your passwords, make sure everything's encrypted, you know, put everything on a hard drive if you need to. Do all of that stuff now so that it doesn't become a problem later on. There's something obscure around information and technology here, so just be a bit savvy. For those of you that are business owners, same kind of thing. I will say to you though, if you're a business owner or you're a solopreneur, people that work for themselves in any capacity, this could be an opportunity that is presented to you from a client or maybe somebody that you've worked with in the past, but it's not viable. All right, and the reason I say it's not viable is because you've got this with the Hanged Man, and it does suggest to hang back. All right, take a minute and assess. It's like whatever you're offered, it could sound really wonderful on the surface, but once you do a little bit of digging, it may not be. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, it looks like for some of you, you could be taking a very spiritual trip this week. You could be embarking on some kind of journey that really does support or help or at least kickstart a new sense of consciousness and spirituality. I mean, that's where this whole week is going for you. For your love and relations, you've got the Two of Swords. So for those of you that are single, that Two of Swords suggests to me that somebody that you've maybe already met, maybe already connected to previously, somebody that you have interacted with before, this week is revealed to be either a potential partner. It could be that you're meeting somebody and maybe you share spiritual values and core beliefs. And it's like at the base level of who you both are, you share this really deep understanding or philosophy for life. And you realize very quickly, wow, this person feels like they are for me. Remember, the Two of Swords is actually a very psychic card. So the fact that this comes up, you might feel it sort of before anything is uttered. For those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, now I will say, even if you're single as well, this could be some iffy communication when it comes to relationships or potential partners, but in the relationship if you're married. The Hierophant card is the marriage, the Two of Swords potentially an opposition, with the Hanged Man a miscommunication. So it's not an argument about, I mean, it's not even an argument, it's a disagreement, but it's a disagreement because neither one of you is actually hearing what's being said. Remember, the Hanged Man can be a somewhat confusing card and it can represent delays. So this could be like, you know, sometimes when you say something to someone and they didn't hear what you said prior to what you say to them. And so like, if you take it just on that, like there could be like a complete context sort of disparity. So this week it's like, you know, you're having a conversation with someone and they're not quite they haven't heard all of what you've said. So what you do say and what does make it through to their attention or through to their ears doesn't sound very good, and they get on the defensive or on the attack, and it's like, hey, wait, what's going on now? And then you kind of get a bit sort of like this, just, do you know what I mean? So slow, steady communication this week. For your money and materials, you have the Hermit card. It's a very interesting set of cards for you guys. So when it comes to your money and finances, this is not a week for big purchases. I would be mindful of anyone that asks for money this week. And the reason I say this is the wider world stage for the resources and money in general is going to be to this week. I don't know what's going on in the finance sector, but we'll see. And that when this week comes about, we'll be seeing something on the wider world stage that I think is going to affect a lot of people, because it seems to have come up in every single reading so far. Now, the fact that you've got the Hermit card in the money and materials means that you probably have a buffer against this. For a select few of you, you could be parting financial ways, at least, maybe not necessarily the relationship, but you and a significant other could be diverting your cash flow. So maybe you say, right, you know what, we're going to start having separate accounts for any number of reasons, all right? But it's a potential. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your digestive system. For a lot of you, I wonder if this week, and I touch wood, I hope I'm wrong on this front, but this could be a week where food, diet and eating is very much on your mind because you're not feeling great. I really hope I'm wrong on that case, but definitely something to have looked at. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, maybe this week for a lot of you, you'll spend, like if you live on your own, this week you might be feeling the need to invite more people over. Whereas if you live with a significant other, this could be that either you or your partner is traveling, and because they're traveling, one of you, whether it's you or them, gets delayed. There is a hold up here. So if you're planning to have someone over, or someone's coming to stay, or you know, even if your partner's gone away on work or you're away on work, do expect the time that it takes you to get home to be somewhat extended. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. It would be fantastic to see you at the winter solstice. You can get your ticket on the link in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.